Let's fix the bow and talk about events in NeoForge. If you want to go deeper, the 26.x modding courses are linked down below. 30 plus hours covering complex block entities with fluid and energy handling, custom mobs, custom networking, and even custom biomes and dimensions. Everything you need for 26.x, all in one place, linked down below in the description. Alright, we found some back and tell you once more, and in this tutorial, not only are we going to fix the, I would say like the last issue sort of that we've, had with the bow, that it's not properly changing the FOV as you're, right-clicking. Not only are we going to fix this today, but also we're going to talk about events more broadly. So events are super freaking cool because they allow you to basically hook into certain things that happen in the game, allowing you to add all sorts of insanely cool and different functionality, or basically anything you can think of. First of all, we'll start with the Kaupenjoe right here, which is going to need a client event. Now, client events, we can go into the tutorial mod client class and we can simply add them here because this already has this, as you can see, the event bus subscriber right here. And you can see that it tells us as well, you can use the event bus subscriber to automatically register all static methods in the class annotated with @subscribe event. So the event bus subscriber right here is registered to our mod ID, and in this case, the tutorial mod client class has the value dist of client, meaning this is for client events. Now I will show you the list of all the events in a second, and you will find that it's way more straightforward than you might think to figure out, okay, what is a client event, what isn't, and all sorts of things like that. But let's just see. Here we want to make a public static void. We're going to call this here the onCompute FOV modifier event. This is going to be the compute FOV modifier event as a parameter right here. And then super important, every time you implement an event that's inside of a class that it has this @EventBusSubscriber annotation, above it, you have to add the @subscribe event annotation. This is mandatory. If this is not added, then the event will not actually fire this particular method. Very, very important. Now, the contents of this are basically the exact same contents that exist already in the, oh boy, where is it? In one of the bow, it's not the bow class, it's let's just see. So where is the bow registered? Right here. And then instead of using the bow item, it is using the bow, and that is in the abstract client player right here in the get field of view modifier method. And this, as you can see, is basically using the same thing. As you can see, this is using the bow. So it says, hey, is this a bow? But the issue is obviously our bow is not a bow. Our bow is a bow item, but not the instance of this bow. And that's why it doesn't actually change this. And this is basically the exact same thing that we're doing as well. So I'm actually going to copy over the contents of this. This is all available to you down below, so you have no issues whatsoever. You're going to see it. So basically saying, hey, is the player using an item? If the player is not using an item, we don't even need to check. Now, if they are using an item, are they using the Kaupenjoe? So we're once again saying, hey, this is only going to work for our Kaupenjoe. Do note that if you wanted to make this a little bit more generalized, you can do an instance of a bow item, although I will say it might apply it twice then, because the FOV event gets called down here, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not 100% sure if it would literally just double it for the normal bow. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, then it does the exact same thing, just written slightly differently, but this does the exact same thing right here. So that is the general idea on the FOV event. Now, when it comes to events, I highly recommend we middle mouse button click or control left click on this. And first of all, here you can see that the event is fired on the main Forge event bus. That's not actually 100% true anymore, but only the logical client. The logical client here being the most important thing. So you now know, this is a client event. It also is under NeoForge client.events, which may be, this might mean that this is where all the client events are. I mean, I don't know what to tell you here, but what you can do is you can click on event, press Control H to bring up the hierarchy over here. If we expand all of them, we can see these are all of the events. Now, if I continue to scroll, yeah, that's it. Keeps getting more and it keeps getting more because that's just a lot of freaking events. Now, not all of these events are super interesting to us, but there was quite a few of them that are super cool. So for example, the use item on block method. This method over here is super interesting because in theory, right, we think about back to our metal detector where we overwritten the use on method, right? So this obviously is the method that gets called when we right click with a metal detector item. However, let's say, oh yeah, but I want to make something when I right click with a diamond on a log, then something happens. Well, you would have to use an event because you can't really change the diamond class. There's not even a diamond class, so that doesn't really work. So what you could use is you could use this use item on block event where you can basically say, hey, what is the item? What is the block position? We have the player, so we have the level. So all of those things we can take a look at, and we can say, well, if our item stack is a diamond, if the level.getBlock at this position is a log, then we do X. Boom. All of a sudden, we can do that. That's really freaking cool. And here are all sorts of events. I highly recommend you just go through them and just sort of peruse and see the names of all of them, just sort of, taking it in once, so that sometimes when you're like, oh, what, maybe there's this thing that I can do to use an event with this, right? Or there's something that I should be able to use with this and that, and there's an event for it. Because usually when it comes to changing things in, or, adding things to vanilla, let's say, the NeoForge events are really freaking cool. Now for it, we're going to actually see one example. I'm going to make a custom class. So this is going to go into tutorial mode in a new package called event. And inside of there, we'll make the mod events class. The way that I'm going to set this up is it's going to also above the class have the annotation over here at event bus subscriber, and then in the parentheses we simply need to do mod ID. We can hit tab to autocomplete this, and then that is going to be equal to, of course, tutorial mod ID. Easy enough. And then when we override or when we add an event over here, we always want to make it public static void. And then this is, let's say, the living damage event over here with the parameter of the living damage event that pre, meaning that this is called before the damage is applied. And then here, very, very important, the at subscribe event annotation has to go above every single one of the methods. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And here, for example, we can do all sorts of crazy things. So let's just say if the event.getEntity, which is the entity that was just damaged, is an instance of a sheep, then we will cast it to a sheep. And if event.getSource, which is the damage source, and if the direct entity of that is an instance of a player, we will also cast it to a player. And we can then do all sorts of crazy things. So for example, we can say player.getMainItemInHand, get item, and if that is equal to items.endRod, well, then we have just hit a sheep with an end rod. And what do we want to do? Well, maybe we want to do something like player.sendSystemMessage with a component of literal, and we say player.getName.getString, just hit a sheep with an end rod, right? End rod, where did it go? Because not only are we going to hit the sheep with an end rod, no, we're also going to say player.getMainHandItem.shrink by 1. So we're going to remove one end rod when you hit a sheep with an end rod. And finally, we're going to say sheep.addEffect, because whatever just happened there, well, that is for sure going to add an effect over here. So this is going to be mod effects dot. Let's do this is definitely not a health boost, I can tell you that much. Maybe like a really big poison effect over here, because why not? And all of a sudden, we have added functionality to the end rod that when you hit a sheep with an end rod, it is not only going to remove an end rod, like I said, where did it go? That's up to your imagination, but it also will poison the sheep for 600 ticks. So that's pretty crazy. Now, like I said, I highly, highly recommend you go through, there's entity events over here. There are so many crazy events. I highly recommend you really take like 15, 20 minutes and just read all of the names here and just see. Usually, it usually works better if you have something that you want to implement and then you look for an event for it instead of like going through the events and being like, oh, this event, trying to like, let's say I'm giving you one event and you have to implement something in there. Usually that doesn't work that well, but just knowing roughly what events are available is always super freaking useful. But yeah, having added not only the client event over here for the FOV for our bow, but also the custom event right here, let's go into the game and see if it works. Alright, friends, we're back in Minecraft, and let's remind ourselves that the bow right here has the slight zoom effect, and if we now use our custom one, it also has the slight zoom effect. Absolutely fantastic, and let's spawn a couple of sheep, and listen, okay, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do, but yes, indeed, we can hit him with an end rod, and not only does it say, you know, I just hit a sheep with an end rod, where did it go? Yes, the end rods are disappearing, and I think the rest... yeah, the rest is left to your imagination. But that is indeed custom events over here, you know, taking a look at. Nice. And that's gonna be it for this tutorial right here. Don't forget you get 14 days of early access if you join as a Stonebricks member on YouTube. That is including this video right here, where we'll add custom item models. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.